I've had a Cricut Explorer Air 2 for well over a year, but recently my dad just gifted me with a Cricut Maker. I thought it would be nice to decorate my Maker as my first craft project with that machine, since that's what I did with my Explorer Air 2. So I took a photograph of my Maker and I started drawing on top of that photo. I have a Samsung Note 9, so it's easy for me to pull out my S Pen and start editing the photograph. I drew 4 different designs, I think because I decided that I wanted options to choose from, but I ended up choosing the very first image that you see on the screen because I really liked it. I attempted to recreate the drawings in Photoshop. I was going to refine the images, but I kind of like that doodle look, so I stuck with that and attempted to recreate that. I knew that I wanted the blobs to be simple cut files, and they were going to be cut using glue to vinyl, and the other images were going to end up being sticker files for the print to cut feature in the Cricut Design Space. I opened the Cricut Design Space and uploaded my blob images to start off with. Editing took me a while because I'm still learning the ins and outs of the program, but I got there. Everything was going well until it came time to stick my vinyl onto the mat. It turned out I only had blue metallic party foil and not blue adhesive vinyl. I probably should have gone out and bought a roll of the color that I wanted, but I chose to stay home and work with what I had. Loading and cutting the foil was easy for me to do, especially since I did that many times on my old Cricut Explorer Air 2. I often use party foil for paper crafting, especially when I'm making greeting cards for family and friends. They're usually on sale at my local craft stores, so I have enough to last me several projects. I did mistakenly remove the larger blob off of the mat. What I should have done is I should have removed the excess foil, left all the pieces on the mat, and then placed the transfer paper on top of those pieces or those blobs that were still on the mat. When I flipped the mat over, it was easier to roll the blob pieces off, still stuck to the transfer tape. Unlike when I took that large piece and laid it on my table, put the transfer tape on top, because I ended up having to rearrange all of those bits and pieces. Since there was no adhesive backing on the back of my blue metallic foil, I thought it'd be okay to use spray adhesive. Alright, let's pause for a moment. I was expecting a mist-like spray out of the nozzle, but apparently I had a web-like stream instead. I did notice later that it had the word web on the can, so I just rolled with it and thought, what's the worst that could happen? Well, the large amount of sticky residue was the worst that could happen. It was awful removing all of that sticky stuff off of my machine. It was the longest and most tedious part of this entire craft project. I did find that taking the pieces of the sticky stuff, rolling it into a ball, and then dabbing it onto the remaining residue made it easier to come off of my machine. It wasn't a fast process, and it definitely required patience, but it all eventually came off. So finally, I was ready to move on. I uploaded all of my other images into the Cricut Design Space and then saved them as print-to-cut files. I resized them and duplicated the images so that I had enough to fill up an entire Cricut. Why is that hard to say? So that I had enough to fill up an entire Cricut sticker sheet. There you go. I wasn't going to waste a sheet of paper. Unfortunately, I failed to double check my printer settings and ended up having to print a second sheet anyway. Then I failed to double check my ink levels that second time. The colors ended up being too saturated, which I personally didn't like, but I went ahead and used it. I figured I can always change the stickers later in the future. In fact, I probably would after I update my logo. I'm proud of my logo. As an amateur artist and crafter, I think I did an okay job with creating it. I made several rookie mistakes throughout this project, but I'm actually really happy with the way it turned out. The metallic party foil adds a shine, which I surprisingly really like. I do wish I went out and bought blue adhesive vinyl, but I worked with what I had, and here we have it. So have you decorated your Cricut, Silhouette, or other die cutting machine? Do you have any suggestions for craft projects I could try with my new maker? I'm interested in making my own jigsaw puzzle and eventually engraving metal blanks, but I definitely welcome other suggestions you have to share. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned from, or at least laughed at, my mistakes. Thanks and have a great day.